Maker guitar video. Make sure you click the like button, click the subscribe button, hit the bell, get the notification when I do these new videos. I just wanted to come on today and talk about string noise and maybe like how to get rid of some of it. I give every one of my guitar players on day one of our lessons this exercise. It's basically to do this. Turn your amp up really hot. Turn the bass all the way down. Turn the reverb off. You want to just hear just a clean guitar signal, loud amp sound. And the reason you want it really loud is because you want to hear crystal clear every single noise. And what you're going to do is then turn everything up to 10. Tone is up to 10. Volume's up to 10. And here I have, like I said, bass down. So bass is on like 2, treble's on like 9, middle is maybe somewhere in the middle, but I have mine set pretty low. I have my middles at about, I have my middle on the Blues Junior in the middle, and I have my middle on the katana about 2 or 3. The katana I've noticed is a little warmer, a little muddier sounding than the Blues Junior, so I wanted to offset that by a little bit. With my setup, of course. Obviously, what you have at home might be something totally different. It's the same principle. Just turn the bass down, mids relatively down, and the treble all the way up. Again, that's just going to make all of the typically like not super pleasant frequencies very loud. It's going to give you some more control over that. And then all you're going to do is this. I start on the D string, 4th string.
4th position.
Here's why. Number 1, it's a little thicker, so you get some of the grit. You're going to have to fight against this noise happening when you move your left hand around. Number 2 is this string is in the middle of the guitar. So what happens is this. If I just play this string and I'm not careful about it, it's going to create other vibrations. So when I stop that, there's all these other vibrations happening. So I have to control those. So playing on the 4th string is going to force me to control those other vibrations, make sure they don't happen. That's going to give me more control over my sound and my tone in the end. And it'll do the same for you if you practice this, okay? So all I'm doing is now I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure there's no pick noise and no finger noise. It's a little tricky going upwards just with the pinky for most people, because when you lift your pinky, I don't know if you can hear this, but you hear that? There's a little noise that happens when you lift your finger and go back. So when you go forwards like this, there's not really much noise that happens there. You don't really need to worry too much about that, other than just making a clean, even volume tone, because that's part of the practice as well. But you don't have to worry about extra noise on those, just playing them evenly. But now I'm going to shift. I'm going to pivot my 1st finger into the 2nd fret instead of the 1st fret. And when I lift up my pinky to go there, I'm going to be really careful to not make that noise when I lift. It just means you have to lift very straight. That's all it is. If you lift off at an angle, you'll get that noise. Like that, right? Now something else happens here. Did you notice that last note, fret 7, is very loud? It's because there's I think, and somebody, if you're a guitar scientist and you know why this is, please leave me a comment below. I'm interested to find out the exact physics of why this is. But all I know is this. There's a natural harmonic that happens there at the 7th fret. It's also naturally louder when we play on the 7th fret. Like when I play 5, not that loud. That's the same volume with my pick. I'm playing the same force to get that note. So you have to play a little softer on 7. So as I'm playing through this, I do 1, 2, 3, a little louder, and then pinky is just a little softer. And then as I work this up, same thing, a little louder, a little softer. But that compensates. And then what'll happen is these frets between 7 and, it's actually 7 and 11, are going to be a little bit louder than everything lower. Then at 12, what happens again, is they get louder again. There's obviously, if you know about harmonics, you know there's a stronger harmonic here at 12, so that'll again be a place where you have to adjust a little bit. But again, just working up a little bit. I'm just playing a little softer on everything now, just because I want to make everything the same volume. That's part of the practice, and I kind of brushed over it here. You want to make everything the same volume down here as it is up here at fret 7. Just takes a little bit of like delicacy with your pick. And what you want to do is just practice up to 12. You don't need to worry about after 12. I tell most people, even when they're improvising and soloing stuff, stay down below 12 until the very peak of your solo, because what will happen is after 12 everything gets louder, and higher notes equals more of a climax. So if you can like keep your soloing all the way down here for almost your whole solo, and then when you want the most energy, then you go up here, then you can maybe, you know, resolve it back down at the end, at the very, very end. But it's just kind of a philosophical thing. There's no rules when you do this stuff. It's all a matter of taste. Maybe you want the high point right in the beginning of your solo, and you start there to call attention to hey, there's a new soloist happening right now, and then you move back into this territory. It's whatever. I'm not usually super picky about it as long as whoever's playing is tasteful. And if you are, then I'm never picky about that. I just sit back and enjoy it. But that said, you know, you just practice this, moving all the way up to 12. And I probably did that entirely too fast for most people, but that's my speed right now. That's where I'm at with this, in making silence in between all of my notes and just clean tones. Now going backwards, and anything that we practice forwards, I tell anybody doing this in lessons, anything that we do forwards, you do backwards, and also see if you can mix it up a little bit. But just to start, we'll go backwards. So starting from 12, pinky, and then what's going to happen is as you do this backwards, it's going to get harder, because when you're lifting, again, those little noises happen. And they're going to happen now, instead of just happening on your pinky as you pivot forward, they're going to happen on every single note, because every single note is being played and then lifted. And there's a little noise there. I messed up because I was talking. Like that. Be perfectly clean. After this, I'm going to be quiet with just my first finger. But, I'm sorry, be louder with just my first finger. Because these are all loud. And then that one I'm picked a little bit harder. And now I'm going to pick a little softer because I'm going back above 7. And now a little louder because I'm dropping below. You might notice there's a slightly different tonal quality there. That's okay. Just working on making it the same volume and as even a tone as you can while maintaining same volume. You go all the way forwards, all the way backwards. I'm going to kind of go through it because I think if you've watched this far, you probably understand it. Just a little exercise. What you can do though, and I practice some form of this every single morning, every single day. I've been doing this for years and years and years. Some people do kind of like this, like they'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then practice getting down all the strings. Do that if I wanted to combine some alternate picking in this, right? I might like combine some alternate picking with it. There's any number of things that you can do. You can also change your finger pattern. So like, how about instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, how about 1, 3, 2, 4? And then, of course, you'll have to do that backwards. So just some variation of this exercise is really, really great for you. Just to like clean out the tone. For me, I don't worry about timing on this exercise at all. It's just about getting clean fingering. And for me, a lot of the time when I get like a student on their first day, most people can like play a little bit. It's not really about that. It's just about like becoming a master over this. And really what that is becoming a master of controlling all vibrations that happen. And what you'll notice is one more thing about just controlling vibrations, and then we'll end this video for today, because I think this is in itself a lot of work. But one more thing about vibrations is, again, like when you are playing a note here, and then I stop that, there's like all these extra notes that happen. So something that I always have to do, and I learned this from watching Jaco Pastorius educational videos, because he was talking about his technique. And something that he said that he did, and I figured out, hey, I do this too, and most of the guitar players, bass players, mandolin players, whatever kind of string instrument players that you listen to are also masters of this same principle. But you're always using some combination of your right hand and your left hand to only let the notes through that you're fretting and playing, and you're covering up all of the other notes that you don't want to happen. Basically, whenever you make one vibration, every action causes an equal and opposite reaction, right? So us playing this pleasant sound means that there's an equal and opposite displeasant sound that's probably coming out somewhere, and we have to block that. So if you can try your best to always pay attention to those extra unwanted vibrations and block them whenever it's necessary, then you're doing the job right and you're practicing it correctly. Again, when I do these things, I almost never practice it with the metronome, because this is not about timing. It's only about tone and clarity, and letting your guitar sing from your hands, and just from the from your hands and the guitar and the amp. That's the only sounds that you should hear. It shouldn't be like a pedal or an effect or anything like that. It's just controlling that raw element, if you will. And if you can do that, then it makes for great playing. You can always add in pedals later. You can always like tweak your EQ and add in some bass a little bit later as well. But if you practice it this way, you'll be able to master your own vibrations. So I hope that was helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and get out. If you want some more in-depth lessons on any of this material, please go see me, musicmakerlessons.com. We're adding ear training this week, so really great stuff happening over there. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow, 3:35 Thursday.